Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss Pre-Market Report for February 2nd, 2016. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss, with your analysis for today's session. Taking a look at the daily time frame of the ES here, you can see that price bounced into our 1939 half target. That was our target this entire time, ever since this day right there. Whenever we bottomed out at 1804s and closed back above 1846. That afternoon, I talked about the opportunity for a rally into 1939 half to solidify this key range from that 2075 high to that 1804 low. And that's basically what we've done now. So we knew that this was the low here. It wasn't pretty, but prices held above our CLVN of 1846 and continued to march higher into the HVN at 21, which we had as our first target, and 1939 half, which was our second target here. Those were our primary targets, and in reaching that zone, we now have our key range to watch with key levels above and below and outside the range as well. So right now, the fact that prices pushed higher, prices are still holding above this minor LVN 1910, still holding above the 1900 to 1903 zone. This is the area where bulls want to defend for another squeeze higher. Remember, we want to target the primary bull target for the week here if prices can continue to hold above 1900. So that's the idea right now. Bulls are looking to defend this pullback for a continuation into 1969 half and a shot at retesting 1981 half, which is the CLVN. Any failure to hold above 1900 likely runs the downside sell stops back toward the major CLVN for a big time test. Let's take a look at the intraday. Here's the intraday time frame in the ES. You can see a little bit of a cluttered chart here, but for the most part, we have the top of a key range right here at 1903. 1903s is our key zone. I mentioned before that that's the real level there that bulls want to defend and keep bid for a push higher. Failure to hold that area opens up a return to 5-day VPOC at 1885. Right now, you can see that there's a natural LVN forming in the 5-day profile at about 1912. That's been the area right there that's been defended. So right now that area is bid. But short term, anytime you think this thing offered an overnight trading here and price pulls back to VWAP, that's an opportunity here to watch for a potential pushback downward. Any pushback above 1921 squeezes back to 1929. Okay, let's take a look here at crude oil. Here's crude oil in the daily time frame. And this one also reached the midpoint of its key range, solidifying that range. So 39.30 to 27.56 is our key range with a midpoint at 33.43 rather. Price failed to hold above 33.43, lower highs progressively day over day. And then we saw price go offered through the mid pivot and through the bottom of the previous session's low, eventually closing below the current week's pivot range, the bottom of the pivot range there, which is bearish. And now you're seeing a continuation lower. Our expectation was that if price was able to squeeze higher here, this next pullback could be defended for another squeeze, but we know how bearish crude has been, and that would be a huge development if that had played out. Instead, we're seeing more of the same, more rejections here, and this level right here, 32.56, now becomes a point of emphasis, being that it was the previous low and where price went auction through the pivot point for the week. I would say a pullback to that zone offers an opportunity to sell for a retest back toward 29.25. Bulls, if you can keep 30.14 bid, that was the area that really was being jockeyed over in this zone. That's like the last line of the fence here, along with this 30.50 here. That's the lower inside 25% key level. That zone right there between 30.14 and 30.50 offers an opportunity for bulls to defend and return price back toward recent highs. Okay, let's look at the intraday. Here's the intraday time frame for crude oil. In the previous session, pre-market, what we talked about was this level right here. It was 32.35, and that was the previous session's low price. And price was trading somewhere about here, and I mentioned that any test of that zone should be defended for a shot at seeing a push lower. We got that move. Not only did we get that move, it trended lower throughout the session, cleanly off that level. We're seeing more of the same now. Here's the previous low again, 31.29, and that's the area that's offered right now for a shot lower. We are seeing a little bit of a bounce right now, But I would say any bounce into 31.29 still offers an opportunity to sell. Above 31.29 squeezes back to 32.04. Okay, let's take a look now at the NQ. Here's the NQ in a daily time frame. This one has not yet reached its midpoint of the key range. We have the high near 47s, the low just below 4,000s here. That puts us at a midpoint at 43.40. And when we formed this low here and popped back above the range, our expectation was that bulls would defend the CLVN from above for a shot at returning price to 43.40. We've since come within about 29, 30 handles of reaching that level. So I still believe we have that level in our sights. This minor LVN and the key level at 42.26 is very important. Price went bid through that area here, and now 2 sessions where we're defending that zone. So right now 42.26 is bid for a shot at seeing the primary weekly bull target at 43.77 half. Failure to hold above 42.26 opens up a return to recent lows and a potential retest of that key CLVN at 40.72. Looking at the intraday time frame for the NQ here, you can see again that key zone that's being defended, 42.26. You can kind of see that support. You can see the LVN in the 5-day profile here. That's rejection. So right here, that's the LVN, that narrow passway. Right there, that passageway. Any pullback into that zone being defended right now. Failure to hold above that zone opens up a quick retest at 5-day VPOC at 41.78. All right, that's it for now. Let's see how this thing plays out the rest of the session. Good luck and trade well.